Hi guys, welcome back. I am Katie B. Brown, and today we're going to be looking at some r/Fatlogic because our number one girl has been just leaving a trail of idiocy in her wake, and I don't want to touch that. Plus, it's been covered way better by people like Aphrodite's Peach and some others. And today we're doing some r/Fatlogic. We're going to jump in. We're going to read. I'm not going to get heated. I'm going to bring it down. So let's go. This one's titled, Media Loves Skinny Girls Who Are on Life Support. And we have... Oh my god, whose account is this? Laughing, crying face. And in case you're just listening, we've got a winner's podium, 1, 2, and 3. Number 1 is literally the color of the background, which is plain white, on life support tubes, such as oxygen, fluids, holding a bouquet of roses, waving at the crowd. Number 2 seems to be a pretty healthy-sized girl. She's got some abs, but she's got some body fat to protect her organs, etc. And poor, lowly number 3 who is crying and hiding her hands, and she's a little extra chubby, probably like a size 12 to 14. Boo-hoo. The world oppresses you because you're chunky. The second place girl's eyes are looking in 2 directions, and it's really throwing me off. Good comment. If we're going to make massive stereotypes in this one, then shouldn't the fat girl be sitting with a bunch of cheeseburger wrappings? Makes you think. Obviously it doesn't. This is a ridiculous statement trying to equate being skinny with an automatic success in life. And we don't know what type of competition this was. But I feel like this plays into that victim mentality that girls like Amberlynn Reid and Foodie Beauty have, where just because they're fat or super plus size, whatever they want to say, that they're not getting a fair chance at life. People aren't giving them a fair chance. They're not being judged on their actions rather than their appearance. And there's probably some of that. Like, there's probably some fat stigma that really does come just from someone being overweight and not taking care of themselves. But you know how you fix that? You dress well and you have good hygiene. It's really that easy. Here's a little something for y'all. Oh. I believe that this might be Tess Holliday's legs. They are past what most people would consider a normal plus size. This person is obviously quite obese. And I don't mean that in like a mean way, but literally they're not in like obesity 1 anymore. Like I've been in obesity rank like 2, 1, and now I'm just in the overweight category. And this is bad. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just my understanding, and from my doctor like giving me a high five when I moved down to just overweight. But the caption on this photo, and this model is wearing compression socks up to the knee, "My lymphedema legs are not the issue. The issue is with society." This hits hard thinking about our girl. I don't know if she said she has lymphedema in her legs exactly, but they do look quite like this, where they're abnormally thick and they look swollen and painful. We know she has some kind of lymphedema in her stomach, according to her. But that does seem kind of Amberlynn Reid's logic of, oh, I have lymphedema in my stomach, or I have a kidney infection that won't go away. That's not my issue. That's, the society's issue. That's the doctor's issue. I don't have ownership of my issues. I'm not willing to admit that they are issues. So it's called, "My mom sent me this Facebook post from a friend of hers after I expressed concerns about my weight. This would check off plenty of boxes on a Fatlogic bingo card. and our blued out name says, "At the doctor's office today, they took my height and weight, and then at the end of the appointment, the doctor told me about their weight loss counseling programs." Ha! So you will now be subjected to this ensuing rant. First of all, using height and weight charts to calculate obesity is stupid nonsense when there are many body types and I have a strong German shoulders and will kick your ass. Secondly, exactly where do they figure in the double D cups I carry around every day in their stupid formula? And third, I can hike 15 miles in a day, no problem, and do a forearm stand when my herniated disc isn't acting up. And I eat an organic, vegetarian diet with no processed food ever, and do yoga every damn day. So you can take your obesity lecture and shove it where the sun don't shine. And I'm gonna go home and watch Dumplin' on Netflix. So there you do face body shaming weenies. Definitely seems like a well-balanced person who has a good understanding of health. So let's just go through her points. Again, I have no professional training at all. This is just my experience with finding out I'm diabetic, and I had to drop weight very quickly and learn a lot about how weight and fat can affect insulin resistance, etc. But again, this is my personal. If you're a medical professional and you know more, please drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear. So, addressing her first rant. BMI is a good indicator for the majority of people. Yeah, you're going to have bodybuilders every once in a while, like maybe be generous and say 5% are going to be bodybuilders, where, yes, they're 6'2" and weigh 300 pounds of muscle. But the average person, if you're, let's take Amberlynn Reid, 5'3" and weigh 572 pounds, the BMI is accurate. You are not healthy. She's not a muscle builder or a bodybuilder, or it's not healthy. BMI works for the vast majority of people as a good indicator of overall health. So I appreciate her German shoulders. You can have broad shoulders and carry fat on them. Like me having lost 60 pounds. Like I have loose skin on my chest because I used to have fat all on my chest. I still do have fat. Like you can have big, broad German shoulders and still have a thick layer of fat over them, which is not healthy. Exactly where do they figure the double D cups are? Honey, I got G cups, and you can find the equations to figure out how much your breast weighs versus on your cup size, if you want to know. But it's not a lot. Even though they feel big, it's not a lot. And then right here talking about she can do a forearm stand when my herniated disc isn't acting up. You know what helped my herniated disc in my lumbar so incredibly much? Losing 60 pounds. I hardly have any back pain now because literally I don't have 60 extra pounds compressing my spine, which is where your discs live, in your spinal column area thing. And she eats organic, vegetarian diet. I have absolutely no problem with that. Yoga is great for your mental health, and you can gain some strength, but it's not getting your heart rate up. But when people are confronted with the reality that obesity is not healthy and that you're not curvy, you're fat, they go to shows like Dumpling or other body positivity when they need to comfort themselves, they'll go to other body positivity content where they can be told health at every size is a thing, or they can be told that fat is beautiful. And I don't think it's not beautiful, but that's a different conversation entirely than is being overweight or obese healthy. And yes, I'm wrestling a cat in my lap this video because he doesn't want to be. There we go. Be a good boy and just sit down. Yeah, be a good boy. Hi, Toad. This is my cat. I love him. This person I follow on Twitter randomly went on a rant about metabolisms and fasting, and I'm in awe of how much fat logic there is. All right, here's the person posting. About the metabolism thing, here's the deal. Let's say you get on the scale and you weigh 250 pounds. I want to lose 50 pounds, you decide. A pound of fat contains 3,500 calories. So you decide to maintain a weekly calorie deficit of 7,000 calories weekly, or 1,000 in a day. According to the math in every diet app, in 170 days, almost 6 months, you should hit your goal. And yeah, this video is going to be garbage. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you ruining this very ASMR read of Fatlogic comments. It's just wonderful. It's lovely. I appreciate you so much. Can you pick a spot, baby? I'd really appreciate it if you picked a spot. Okay, well, he's going away. According to the math in every diet app, in 175 days, almost 6 months, you should hit your weight goal. And yeah, lose a bunch of weight in the first 6 to 8 weeks. But inevitably, it peters off. You maybe even start to gain while eating 1,000 calories less than you were. What the bleep, you think? But consider this. Dietary studies of modern hunter-gatherers were done a while back, examining their metabolisms. Scientists want to know, how did they get their required and necessary 2,000 to 3,000 calories daily? Answer, they didn't. Ever. These people were living off considerably fewer calories just fine. Because that's what metabolism does. If your intake goes... Okay, this is full of bullshit. The reason you stop losing weight, usually it can be metabolism, is because you get sloppy. You get sloppy with measuring every single thing you eat, whether it's with a measuring cup or a kitchen scale to the gram. And it is real easy to have that little extra pinch of whatever you're making, an extra serving when you just scoop it into your lunch container. It's incredibly hard to lose weight. No, it's incredibly hard to continue to lose weight after the initial rush and where the initial motivation went. Especially once you start to feel better about yourself and feel better in general. You get sloppy. I'm dealing with this in my own life right now. You get sloppy. When the donuts get brought into work in the morning, you shouldn't have one, but you do. And 3 mornings from that, somebody brings in bagels. You shouldn't, but you do. And now you have 2 days a week where you went 400 or 500 calories over. It's real easy to sabotage your weight loss, even if those other days you're eating really well. This is just not taking personal accountability. And you know why the people could live off so few calories? They were skin and bones, and they died by 30 or 40. Oh, okay, well, this person wrote tweets that are so much because... Oh my god, the stupid is so strong. I can't. All right, this one is this fat logic or fat delusion? Oh, is that a Reddit community? Because I would very much enjoy reading that one. I'm a big lady due to a mix of medication and medical issues, yet I'm a power lifter. Still new at it, but it's hilarious to see folks shut up when I bench press my own body weight, and I weigh almost 400 pounds. Fatties can be fit. They act like all we do is shovel junk food in and out of our mouths while glued to a couch. Meanwhile, I eat right and work my ass off. Blow them stereotypes out the water. I really hope that this person is eating right and working hard. They'll drop weight like crazy, especially the more muscle they build. So I hope that they're really doing this, but let's read some comments. It's just a straight up lie. No woman who is just starting lifting and benching their own body weight. I read that wrong. Let's try it again. No woman who is just starting lifting is benching their own body weight. And for sure not doing so if they weigh almost 400 pounds. This is the bullshit you get from a woman who has never bench pressed anything and has no idea how much training it takes for women to even get 75% of their body weight. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big lady too, but I never had upper body strength. Or no strength. I'm much stronger now that I've lost some weight. Starvation mode insanity. No, starvation mode sanity. Starvation mode. Is it real? The part you see. Set calories at 1,200. No weight loss. Up to 1,600 calories. Weight loss. Conclusion, I wasn't eating enough. The less obvious part. So, and there's a typo. Sometimes eat 1,200 calories. Weekends, nights. I don't know what LBT stands for. Is that weekends, maybe? I don't know. Average 2,000 plus. Lower to 1,600 calories. I was actually eating too much. And that's what I said in an earlier comment. It's not that the goal you set, well, I think 1,200 is probably kind of low for a lot of people. But, I mean, I'm not a dietitian, so I don't know. You eat really good during the week when you have that schedule of, this is what I eat for lunch every day before work. This is what I eat at lunch at work. This is what I eat when I get home. And in the weekends, you let loose because you feel that safety of having your calorie deficit to fall back on. But you eat like some pizza, a wing or two. That can be 800 calories. A spoonful of honey? That's not good for you. A burger? Some burgers are over 1,000 calories a piece. Or if you get a meal. And you really restricted for 4 or 5 nights or 4 or 5 days that week, and then you immediately throw it away on a Saturday. I'm also extremely guilty of this. Ever since I started allowing myself a cheat meal or a cheat day, I've learned I can't keep it in control. It turns into a weekend-long cheat, and I am maintaining weight. I'm not losing anymore. So that's something that I really need to have more self-discipline about. And I'm not going to say, oh, well, everyone in my family and that I spent around and who I work with, they know I'm losing weight. Why did they bring in treats? Why did they bring in sweets? I am the one who did not have willpower strong enough to resist eating those. I am the one who does not have enough willpower, who did not exhibit the willpower I know I have to not eat junk that I know is bad for me. Maybe if I would stop eating like I'm a linebacker and more like a girl, I wouldn't be in this potato body predicament. And then what can I say? Hashtag I love tacos. This is at least the type of self-responsibility, and they're not blaming society. They're not blaming, oh, well, yeah. Yeah, if you work out all day in training and you have tons of muscles and you're 6'5", yeah, you can probably eat a lot more calories. You shouldn't be eating junk because your body needs proper fueling. But yeah, you got to admit when you're the one who's messing up your chances at losing weight or achieving the body that you want, whether that's muscle or leanness or etc. All right, this one is quite a long one. I don't want to be fat. That has nothing to do with you and everything to do with me. Pure egocentrism. And Adele has publicly struggled with morbid obesity in her weight loss journey. She's visibly a healthy weight now. We should cheer her. I know, right? Good for Adele. Like her glow up is incredible. I still remember listening to her first album and thinking, oh, she's beautiful. With that eyeliner, beautiful. I'm gay, by the way. And yeah, she looks so much healthier and happier and able to move better and perform on stage without looking like she's kind of in pain. So I'm very happy for Adele. Way to go, girl. But the post that we're going to be struggling through: celebrating Adele's weight loss is a garbage thing to do for a million reasons. Here are 2. It tells your fat friends you think their bodies are a problem to be solved. Yeah, if they're your friends, they want you to be alive until you're like 80. Number 2, weight loss could be the result of physical or mental health struggles. Weird to cheer about. Or it could be about her choosing to take control of her life and her health by reaching a healthier body weight. Let's read some comments. Looks like this is a top comment, perhaps. People who maintain their morbid obesity are doomed to suffer from a multitude of health problems and are likely to die a much earlier death. Weird to cheer about. One of the things that really struck me when I was first trying to lose weight and find motivation is morbid obesity puts you at a much higher risk for certain types of cancer. Cancers that have appeared in my family tree in the past. And if I can manage to not eat a 6-pack of cupcakes in one binge to not get cancer, or to lower my odds of getting cancer, that's worth it to me. Hayes' dietitian recommends not to listen to the eating disorder dietitian. And here's the tweet. My dietitian, who is Hayes, which is health at every size, wants me to eat foods I love. He wants me to feel pleasure from the foods. Oh. Okay, that's a red flag. He wants me to feel pleasure from the foods I eat and live a full life where I am in charge and not listening to the million of rules of my eating disorder. How sad is it that an eating disorder dietitian is encouraging restriction and deprivation? I feel like this advice would not be good for someone struggling with overeating types of disorders, binge eating, or just overconsumption. It does seem like good advice if you were anorexic or bulimic to try to stop living by those rules. But when you're overweight, and when you're underweight, of course, but I only have experience with being a big fatty, rules are good. Because as soon as it stops being a rule, like I do not eat cupcakes. I do not eat them. They are no longer a thing that I am going to eat. I choose not to have them. And as long as it's a firm rule, it's a lot easier to stick by. Because when someone offers you one, or it's your birthday, you say, I don't eat cupcakes, but thank you. I hope you enjoy it. But as soon as it becomes just, well, I shouldn't eat this. This is speaking from my personal experience with dieting. As soon as it becomes I shouldn't, not I don't, the fight is over. For me personally, I'm a very 0 or 100. Like either I'm doing keto or I can't seem to control, some of my food stuff. So, yeah, I think it's absolutely okay to encourage restriction on stupid, morbid, obese people and deprivation of 2 liters of soda, as we've seen on some 600-pound life episodes. So that's a very scary information to be getting from a dietitian, someone who should be helping you save your life. I also wonder if there really are a dietitian or a nutritionist. There's a lot of different labels that have certain legal connotations of what their degree is in different states, etc. How dare an association of doctors dedicated to the health and well-being of children suggest kids being morbidly obese is a problem. And there's a woman holding up, a woman who was obviously obese. Dear AAP, here are better ways to help fat people. Well, they're talking about fat children. 1. Fight medical weight stigma. I do believe that there is some medical weight stigma. But for the majority of people, it's not. I'd say it's a rare case. Number 2, encourage health at every size approach. We've seen Amberlynn Reid fall into this logic, or probably not fall, probably willingly jump into this delusion. Her cycle has escalated, and her events of the past have just become confusing to me. But when she had the doctor who said, "Don't worry, you're fine, you're healthy," at around 500 pounds, and she's believing that she can be healthy at any size, including 500 pounds at 5'3". Health at every size approach is a lie, and it's dangerous for children, because the more time you spend obese as a child, it does have long-lasting effects on your adulthood. Number 3, support access to intuitive eating education. In theory, I agree with this. Encourage children to turn, and adults, to turn towards food when they need to eat, when they are actually hungry, and determining what would be a healthy thing to eat. Because especially to people, again, this is from my experience, who are morbidly obese, as I was, intuitive eating, your brain is telling you you need to eat the 12-pack of cupcakes in 2 days. You need to eat the entire bag of sweet chili Doritos, the family-sized one. You need to order Panda Express, like a family meal, and you need to eat it all. That bag of Reese's mini peanut butter cups that you just bought, you're going to eat that. You're going to eat the whole bag, one sitting. Intuitive eating, when you have a skewed view of health and your body and how to eat correctly, intuitive eating to those people who already have demonstrated that they have no self-control or they have no education about what nutrition really is deadly. There are lots of people who die from obesity and obesity-related illnesses. Encouraging someone who already has a struggle with food, that when they are craving sugar, like candy, to just go get the candy and be happy, is deeply disturbing to me. Number 4, get rid of the BMI scale. BMI scale works for 95% of the population. You're not special, honey. You're fat. I'm fat. If the BMI scale says that you're fat, you're most likely fat. That's just how it is. You got yourself there. You can get yourself out of it. And you've got a slender redhead teen person, maybe, lady, and she's going from all the different body options they apparently have for Bitmojis. I can see why everyone enjoys Bitmoji. They have all the body types: skinny, skinnier, skinny with wider shoulders, and so fat that your crop top gets bigger to hide your shameful fatness. Why do you want to be outraged? It's exhausting to be outraged. And if you don't like looking at someone who is shaped like that when it's in regards to yourself, maybe that's your wake-up call that you need to start taking control of your life. Extra, extra large pelvis is a new one. I'm currently straight up anorexic. It's a relapse, and I still need XXL pants and at least medium shirts due to my build. Extremely big pelvis and broad shoulders. Ironically enough, I'm having the relapse because my mom constantly tells me clothes don't fit me because I'm too fat. I don't understand this logic, but yes, if you have very wide hips, I don't know about pelvis. If you have wide hips and are very pear-shaped and you store a lot of fat in your lower body, I can absolutely see how this would be a struggle. I have a very strange body as well. As far as I'm fairly tall, I'm 5'8". I have quite broad shoulders, a very high waist, and not much hip. I can look real weird in a tube dress. But you know what I do? I find clothes that fit and don't complain about it. I hope if this person is struggling with an eating disorder, whether it's anorexia or otherwise, body dysmorphia, that they do get help and they come to accept their body and take the steps they need to make it the best body, best meaning healthiest body they can be. Why the fuck would I do number 4? Ravishingly.com. 10 fat positive methods I love to suggest to non-fat people. Number 1. Recognize when your fat friends are killing it with their outfit, their professional life, or their crafting skill. Take a second to internalize and silently recognize they're thriving against a lot of odds. Tell them they're killing it. If your friend is skinny and is killing it and thriving against all of the odds and things that have happened in her life, you support your girl. If your friend, if he's a dude, but he's killing it, he's working out, he's getting the body he always wanted, got his job on track, his hobbies are really fulfilling him, hell yeah. Boost up your bros. I'm not going to tell somebody they're doing a good job because they're doing average things and happen to be fat. That's very condescending and infantizing. Infantizing? You know what I mean. Number 2, speak out against wellness challenges at work or mind your own business and let people do what they want, because those are always voluntary and are not mandatory. Number 3, change your industry standard. No. It's very egotistical to think that you are the one who should be changing entire industry standards, especially if you work in medical care, fashion, or beauty. I work in advertising. I don't care. Whatever model fits my composition and leaves me enough space to put text or graphics, that's the one I'm going to choose. Number 4, pay for your fat friend's coffee if you benefit from the wage gap between fat and thin people. Citation needed. And no, don't pander to your fat friends like this. Don't make their entire identity about being fat. It's ridiculous. Pay for your friend's coffee if you just feel like doing something nice. Or if they've had a tough financial time and you've had a great financial time, yeah, maybe trade them out to coffee. Simple as that. Don't be a horrible person, but don't be a fake pandering person either. Number 5, date and have sex with fat people. No thanks. No thanks. I personally, now that I am working very hard, besides my slip up this last pretty much month, but I've worked very hard to lose 60 pounds. And I know that I look fucking weird naked because I've got weight redistribution, fat and loose skin. And I would never say you need to date a new skinny person. I'm not skinny by any means, but you get my point. No one needs to tell anyone to have sex with anyone. It's really rapey, and I do not approve. I do not approve at all. I would never date someone just because they were fat or curvy, as I'm a lesbian. If that's the reason you're with them, that's fucking horrible. Number 6, buy fat positive books. Well, if they wrote books that were any good, maybe I would. Number 7, actively refuse to engage in food surveillance or food shaming behavior. towards other people, yeah, it's none of your business. Don't address it. To yourself, I think food shaming is bad, but food surveillance, being aware of what you're eating, and is this really a good decision for me and my body goals? Whether that's to gain weight with muscle, or if you're underweight, or if it's to lose weight. Number 8, boycott and think critically about movies that promote bigoted representations of fat people. Yes, the ones with fat suits, but also movies that make fun of fat people or consistently portray fat people as asexual or unintelligent. It's a trope in Hollywood. Yeah, is it lazy story writing? They're just typecast? Yeah. Do you need to boycott it because somebody makes a fat joke? No. A lot of fat jokes are really funny. As a fat person, they're funny. And I feel like these days, look, number 5 was date and have sex with fat people. You just need to stop telling people what to do with their sexuality. I definitely don't see fat people usually portrayed as asexual. Sometimes unintelligent, I'll give you that. But just lose weight. Then you won't feel like you're represented by these lazy or asexual or unintelligent caricatures in a movie. Let's make pretend. Number 9, support fat-owned businesses. Why? Are their products better than mainstream products? Because if not, I'm buying the better quality product. Again, just talking down to fat people. People would only want to support your business if you're fat or because you're fat, instead of support everybody who makes good products. Number 10, call or check online to see if a restaurant, bar, or theater has access before you hang out with your friend or date. This is very worrying. If you can't fit in a booth at a restaurant or in one chair in a theater, that should be your wake-up call. That is a huge wake-up call. You are outgrowing societal norms and expectations. That's not a society problem. That's a you problem, because you live in this society. Being fat isn't a behavior, but it definitely is caused by behavior. While it could be argued that the war on obesity is, indeed, then, similar to the war on tobacco, there are very major differences. First, being fat is a physical characteristic, not a behavior. Second, smoking has been proven to cause death and illness. Being fat, on the other hand, has not. Lie. Being obese contributes to your risks of contracting several different types of cancers, heart disease, stroke, and just general more pain. You're more likely to get degenerative disc diseases and wear out your joints faster. And just when's the last time you saw a stupid morbidly obese 40-year-old being able to run a mile? It's not healthy. It may not be a disease per se, but it is not healthy. I believe this one's going to be a great crossover. Sure, my child has a possibly fatal disease, and I won't get vaccinated to protect her, but I will cut sugar out of my diet for some peculiar reason. That has to help, right? And now we're going to read the post in question. My daughter is 6 weeks old and has spent the last week in the hospital because she has Kawasaki disease. Forgive me if I mispronounced that. The doctor just informed me that it can be fatal to her liver if she catches the flu within these next 6 weeks because of the treatment she's had. She told me that, dear husband, and I should get the flu shot, but I'm torn on what to do. No matter what, our 2-year-old will not get the shot because according to some research, Citation needed. There's no proof it's effective on kids ranging from 6 months to 23 months. It's a very specific window. I will get the shot in a heartbeat to protect her, but there's so many other factors I can't control. It's not 100% effective, but even 99% effective is way worse than 100% that your child is going to be injured by the flu, if she gets it. So it is completely in your control, and you should just do it, you dumb fuck. It's not 100% effective, and I can't control outside factors like my sister-in-law, who will be living with us and her 2 kids. Any advice or insight? If your sister-in-law is not willing to vaccinate herself and her crotch goblins, she can't live with you. You have an immunocompromised baby. That should come first before anything else. An update on her post. I decided not to... I decided not to get the flu shot now that I've calmed down and processed everything. Dear husband, will talk to his sister about all of us keeping to the house for these few weeks. Also, sister-in-law and I are on the same page about cutting out sugar and junk food from our kids' diets, so that'll help as well. So this dumb fuck is willing to risk her daughter's health, her daughter that's in the hospital's health, because she read something on Facebook doubtlessly. And she's going to cut sugar out, so that should boost their immune system, right? And there's no way of knowing if any of them are carriers for the flu and just aren't presenting symptoms and could immediately infect and murder that child. I absolutely do think that if you refuse to vaccinate your children and they get injured because of it or die because of it, you as the legal guardian should be held accountable. It was your job to protect that child. This is from The Onion. Body positive male ally worried girlfriend has been packing on the beauty lately. Newcastle. Noting that it had become way more noticeable in her hips and chin lately, local body positivity male... I know it's The Onion. It's The Onion. It's The Onion. Body positivity male ally Jackson something. Oh, it's essentially the word Jason. Oh my god. I got so mad that I forgot how to read. Was reportedly worried Thursday that his girlfriend had been packing on the beauty lately. Ashley has been really stressed out recently, and I fear there may be more of her to worship than ever, said the forward-thinking champion of female empowerment, explaining that he had noticed her 5 or 10 pound previous fluctuations in beauty, but that he'd never seen her flawlessness get this bad before. I don't mind a little bit of extra gorgeous, but at some point, it's a health thing. Her waist has gotten way more perfect. The way it is, for sure. I think she's almost 2 sizes more stunning than she was in the summer. And let's read some comments. At this point, reading The Onion is depressing, because so much of what they've said as a joke is completely realistic. I completely agree. Reality is worse, because even in the Onion articles, it referenced health aspects of gaining weight. I've seen mainstream news parroting The Onion. It's pretty horrifying that they don't know The Onion is satire, and partly horrifying that reality has gotten so weird you can't tell it from satire anymore. And this person has a wonderful quote, which I often mimic, and it's sentimentality, if not its exact phrasing. We really do live in a boring dystopia. There will be no young adult novels written about being crushed by student loan debt and the spread of fake information overwhelming all common sense and bringing back polio. But hey, there's still good shit out there. I know it's hard. But we're going to get through this next year together, guys. And with that, I just want to thank you for listening to me read some Reddit and ramble and try to maintain my calm for the most part. I know this is a little out of the usual for my videos, but if you like this format or a more ASMR kind of vibe with the slower speaking and the more level, calm voice, please let me know in the comments. Hit like and subscribe if you want to see more content from me. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Happy holidays, and let's start 2020 on a good note. Bye.